Hello, everyone. I'm Alex Wood here in New York at MSNBC World Headquarters. At this hour, we are following breaking news out of the UK, where a major soccer match was canceled due to a suspicious package inside a stadium in Manchester. Right now, authorities are sweeping the scene with the help of bomb squads and sniffing dogs, and we know that a controlled explosion has taken place. NBC's Kelly Cobier is following this from our London bureau for us. Kelly, so what's the latest from investigators?
Well, Alex, we're still waiting to hear from Greater Manchester Police about this controlled explosion, which they conducted about a little bit over an hour ago. This is because a suspicious package was found by a stadium official about 30 minutes before kickoff, more than 3 hours ago now. It was found inside the stadium in, I believe, the northwest part of the stadium. An announcement was made to evacuate. It was a very calm evacuation from what we understand. This is what some of the folks who are at the game had to say about it.
What happened today then?
Match been abandoned due to a suspect package found in the northwest stand.
And how did you hear that?
Through one of the stewards and through the police.
And how long into the game?
We went to go to our seats about 15 minutes before the game when we were advised to move away from the stadium.
So some sniffer dogs were brought in along with the Army bomb squad. That controlled detonation took place. The game was canceled outright, with the league saying the decision to abandon the match was taken after police advised of the necessity to deal with the suspicious package. That statement went on to say that when it comes to matters of security, obviously it's right to place the safety of supporters and employees foremost. Now, you know, there's an obvious concern here, Alex, given what happened in Paris in November with two suicide bombers at the Stade de France, a third detonating explosives not far away, and one of those suicide bombers, at least one, had a ticket to get in. But also, it should be noted that within the past week, the British government warned of an increased threat of attacks from the IRA, the level raised to severe in terms of those attacks, primarily for Northern Ireland. But the government said that there was also the possibility of a threat in England. But again, Alex, we don't yet know whether this was an actual explosive device or a false alarm. Still waiting to hear.
Yeah, well, officials being extra vigilant and taking great care and caution with this. Kelly Cobier, thank you so much from London.
Hello and welcome. In the last hour, a controlled explosion has taken place by military bomb disposal experts on a suspect package at the Old Trafford Stadium. All this after the Premier League football match between Manchester United and Bournemouth was abandoned and the stadium evacuated. While the BBC Sports reporter John Akers was in the ground when the game was abandoned, he joins us now via the BBC Sports Centre in Manchester. John, you were there as a fan, I believe. What happened?
I wasn't actually there as a fan, Alpa. I was there working for the BBC Final Score programme on BBC One in the UK. And it was a Saturday afternoon like any other, really. Hugely significant for Manchester United. They were trying to get fourth place and a Champions League spot for next season, depending on the result for Manchester City at Swansea. But also Europa League football was at stake too. Many rumoured it would be Louis van Gaal's last game in charge. And then around about 20 minutes before kick-off, we started noticing fans exiting the Stretford end and the Sir Alex Ferguson stand. Just afterwards, there were police with sniffer dogs who were going around the east stand and indeed the stand I was in, the south stand, which is where those pictures are coming from that you're looking at now. And the rest of the ground was completely empty. The players left the pitch after a red code was announced over the tannoy. And then shortly after that, we were told that the match would be delayed and subsequently abandoned due to the police finding a suspect package.
Now, this was quite an operation that has received compliments. It was well organised. Lots of compliments to the police for getting tens of thousands of people out of the stadium quickly.
Yes, I mean, they did have to shift a lot of people. Manchester United's ground holds around about 75,000 people. It's the biggest capacity in the Premier League in the UK. And there was no great panic. There was no great drama. I mean, I wasn't in those stands. I was in one that wasn't evacuated to begin with. But people were very orderly and didn't appear to be panicking. As you can see there, that Stretford end and the Sir Alex Ferguson stand there on your right-hand side, emptied calmly, fairly quickly as well. And then those people in those stands were then taken to a safe distance outside the ground while they left the rest of us inside the ground and told us to remain in our seats until about half an hour afterwards. But there were nervous faces around. There was a lot of people looking slightly anxious, a lot of people really upset as well. A lot of Bournemouth fans had come a long way to go to the game, the first ever league game for them at Manchester United. They didn't look very happy, those Cherries fans that you can see there. And also outside the ground, fans from all over the world. I saw a group of supporters from Japan who had only come just for that one game. It was their one game they were going to go to in the season, the final game of the season. Very disappointed to have missed the chance to watch Manchester United perhaps get themselves into Europe. But police did handle it as well as they could do. They found a suspect package. The controlled explosion took place at around about 15:30 GMT once the ground had been emptied. So everyone's safe, that's the main thing. Football very secondary. We expect high drama, don't we, on the final day of the season? We expect it to be on the pitch, though, usually.
So, John, you said everyone's safe, but this was a significant match. Any idea when it might be rescheduled?
We don't know yet. There is lots of reports in the press room afterwards that it could be tomorrow night. Bournemouth are in the area, staying at a hotel. Most likely it would be Tuesday, perhaps, but a lot of supporters not going to be able to get there. Manchester United have the FA Cup final on Saturday, so that's another added little complication for them. They would have desperately wanted to have played this game before because of their preparations for that big FA Cup final at Wembley, so no word yet on when it will be replayed, although I imagine it will be replayed. Significant prize money up for grabs for Bournemouth, especially you can jump a few places, and indeed you'd want a full Premier League season to be completed, Alpa.
And any reaction from the fans on both sides?
Well, Bournemouth fans not happy. Manchester United fans obviously not happy. They wanted to see a game of football here today in Manchester. But I think the overriding emotion from most was disappointment, but also that their safety, I guess, has to come first. I don't remember anything like this in the past, so there must have been significant threat. The police must have thought that this was a bomb to carry out a controlled explosion like this. So I think fans on the whole understanding but disappointed.
John Akers, for now, thank you very much for that update. Here's what some of the people who were inside Old Trafford had to say after the stadium was evacuated.
We arrived to go into the game, and as we were stood in the queue, they shut the turnstiles and they explained there was a security alert and asked us to move off onto the car park. And then while we were waiting there, they decided to evacuate the stadium. So we were just all waiting on the car park, and then eventually they said the game had been abandoned.
So we came from Azerbaijan, 8 hours flight to here. So we hope that the game will be played latest tomorrow, so we have no more time.
How disappointed are you?
My point is it's a right decision that the security of the fans is the most important thing.
Well, the match has been abandoned and we had to leave early.
You disappointed?
Yeah, because it was my first match.
We're from Kerry and we're over from exams from uni, so like we came over here to watch the last game of the season and to have a good time, but now it's
It's disappointing coming over. Like, we were so excited to finish uni. Like, this is it. This is our celebration, and this is happening now.
Well, we can join Sarah Corker, who joins me live from Old Trafford. Sarah, you're there. Any more on what this package was?
Well, what we do know is that in the last half an hour or so, staff that work here have been allowed back into Old Trafford to pick up their belongings, which would suggest that this incident is drawing to a close. Now, bomb disposal experts arrived here shortly after the evacuation at 3 o'clock. They're inside for a couple of hours examining what is still described as this suspicious package, and then at around 4:30 p.m. here in the UK, they carried out that controlled explosion. Now, let me just recap then what exactly happened. It was 20 minutes before kick-off when, over the tannoy system here in the stadium, people heard Operation Red Code Alert. That's when they knew that something was wrong. Now, 2 of the main stands here, they were evacuated by security staff. Sniffer dogs then swept through the stadium, and the players were actually on the pitch at the time warming up. They then quickly left the field, and the club confirmed that this suspicious package was found in the northwest area of the stand, and on the advice of the police, they decided to abandon this match with Bournemouth. There are still some fans milling around here trying to get any more information, but of course on the final day of the season in the Premier League, fans are used to a fair bit of drama, but it's fair to say that this was completely unexpected.
Yes, Sarah, you were talking about the fans there, tens of thousands attending this match. Where have they all gone?
Well, the evacuation, as I said, first started with 2 of the main stands. They were filtered out, but when it became clear that this match would not go ahead, the rest of the stadium was evacuated. And an unexpected evacuation like this of so many people is a big challenge for the security services here. But there was no panic or people running. It was a very calm, orderly affair. And over the last few hours, the fans have gone home. A lot of them have gone to the pub. They're sat out in the sunshine, and some of them are still hanging around here trying to get any more information. There is, despite all the drama today, quite a relaxed atmosphere, and people are waiting to hear more from the news services and the police about exactly what that package was, and for them, more importantly, when this match will be rearranged.
Sarah Corker, thank you very much.